Now here's today's breakaway brochure for those riders who want to take advantage of it. 200 rolling kilometres, but just one official climb, a third of the way in, at the second category Puerto de Casa del Alto. And it should be a good chase on the run into the Costa Blanca resort of Gandia, because the sprinters know this is their last chance of a win before Sunday in Madrid.
A big clump of teams right at the front of the race as they pass under the 10 kilometres to go arch, and a big wide road allowing for 7 or 8 different trains to move to the front. Team Sky lead them through with Salvatore Puccio at the front and Christian Knees, the big engines trying to deliver Chris Froome safely to within 3 kilometres of the finish line. Tinkoff and Movistar and Orica Bike Exchange also very visible at the front, setting things up. Now Astana move to the front with Vanotti, and Bora Argon 18 have the centre of the road now.
It's such a wide road, it's so easy for the teams to move up, because you see they keep peeling up the right, and then as they come in, you get sucked down the middle again. So always the rule of thumb is try and keep one side of the road and not move off it. You'll often see that's where Mark Cavendish was the great at controlling his lead outs. He'd get them to stick to one side of the road and keep shouting at them to stay there, because that way you stop people coming up the inside and you only have to deal with people on the outside, and then you just keep shutting them down. But you do need a strong team to do it. As you see with Movistar, they're doing exactly that right now.
And there we are, that's the vista of Gandia. Very, very straightforward run-in really, just one right-hander within the final kilometre to contend with. Other than that, big wide straight roads, so as safe a bunch of sprinters you could possibly get. They head through 9 kilometres. Very often you do get on wide roads like this, the sprinters trains grouping on one side of the road and then GC trains on the other. Hasn't quite emerged in that shape at the moment, but we do have Movistar and Emanol Erviti on the left-hand side of the road, and Astana lead the race through on the right-hand side.
Well, as we were saying, it's at the moment nobody really knows which lead out is going to work or not, and the fact it is so wide and the run into Gandia is so, let's say, relatively safe, the sprinters teams can wait and profit off all the work from the GC teams who are dragging it along, and they don't have to worry about getting stuck in a pinch point or look at that, the straight line through. The only obstacles are these roundabouts, and they can be because they string it out slightly, but they can go around either side. So look at that, it's reasonably easy, and you could almost have a lead-out train sitting almost in the middle of that still, and then have time at any point to move up around the outside.
Fantastic shot of the roundabout, just splitting the peloton. It unzips and then it zips back together again, and Tom Stammschneider moves to the front. But still, Movistar and Viti and Rojas have Quintana somewhere buried behind them, I would imagine. The red jersey, I just caught a glimpse of him there a little bit further back. There's Chris Froome as well in the white jersey, with his Team Sky lieutenants Michal Goash and Christian Knees in front of him and alongside him. Just a glimpse of Quintana there, looking very cool, calm and relaxed. But nonetheless, even though these roads are wide, these are dangerous moments now for everyone in the race, and as well for the GC teams. And the last thing they want to do, having got this far into the Vuelta, is to find just a lapse of concentration or a momentary bit of poor positioning or a touch of the wheels, wrecking their Vuelta.
You can see that roundabout, you just get slightly the wrong side. They both went in at the same point, but because one side was slightly longer, you then get shut off. So Orica Bike Exchange. I remember somebody saying to me once that if they're going to write an autobiography, it would be titled The Wrong Side of the Roundabout. Because if you do, you can be the form of your life. If you choose the wrong side, and it's a gamble, often you don't know which way you're going. You can come out 50 places further back than you were. So
the signage is helpful, isn't it, or is it occasionally misleading?
It doesn't tell you which is the shorter side.
Yep.
That's where you need the recon, and also sometimes it's a simple serendipity that you happen to be on the right-hand side, the correct side of the road when you're coming into it. But if you've got the right recon and you have a DS on the radio who's telling you left-hand side, this roundabout is left-hand side, this roundabout is right-hand side, that makes a significant difference.
The red jersey of Nairo Quintana just moves up on the left-hand side of the road and slots into fourth wheel with his 2 domestiques in front of him. But Vanotti leads the way at the moment from Astana, and Chris Froome's very attentive towards the front in the white jersey. Giant Alpecin lurking behind Astana towards the right-hand side of the road, and Contador has 1 or 2 men on the right-hand side as well. Haven't caught a glimpse of just where Contador is, but I think he's in about 20th, 30th wheel on the right-hand side of the road. Perhaps Luis Leon Sanchez might be interested. You can see him in about 6th position in the light blue of Astana. He can sprint, and certainly from a selection like this.
Well, it really goes to show the type of sprint we can anticipate here. Luis Leon Sanchez maybe feeling he's on a great day, and why not? He'll have seen Jean-Pierre Jacques win, and now he thinks, well, I can get up there, and if not. And also the fact that Bennati came so close to pulling it off 2 days ago with that late attack. So why not Luis Leon Sanchez attempt a similar move? So we can't really predict what's going to happen here, but now we see for the first thing, got Bora there and Giants really, they're starting to dominate. The GC to Chris Froome getting himself in a little bit of a sketchy situation there. He's just got one teammate in front of him, one behind, and him and Nairo Quintana are side by side there. They really are, even at this point in the race. They're not letting chance take any control of their race. They're trying to control as much as possible. You can see just coming at the bottom of the screen now, there they are, side by side, Nairo Quintana and Chris Froome in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7th and 8th position.
And they've only got half the road now, so it has narrowed down substantially as they hit town, and they go through 5 kilometres to go. So Vanotti trying to set things up possibly for a long-range attack from Luis Leon Sanchez. Scott Thwaites has been doing a great deal of work, the British rider, in his first ever Grand Tour for Bora Argon 18, and I did catch a glimpse of their protected rider, and I think it is Michael Schwarzmann, who they'll be riding for today. Giant Alpecin also very, very prominent towards the front.
And we do have, once we get in, and perhaps this is...
Big wide road again. Sorry, David, to interrupt. It's just gone boom and exploded, and they've got the huge width of the road to deal with now. And
they'll have that. They'll know that from the recon, so even some would have sat back knowing that this is going to happen. They'll have plenty of time to move back up. So you don't need to stress that little thin section. They'll have been told about that. See Bennati there on the left coming up as well, once again, because after about 1.5 kilometres to go, they're going to do a left, and then they've got a roundabout right-hander, then a 90-degree right-hander. On biggish roads, but still, that's quite similar to 2 days ago, where that can cause a little bit of confusion.
Giant Alpecin trying to restore order at the front of the race. As Etixx Quickstep take things up on the right-hand side of the road, and Meyersman is there where he wants to be. Meanwhile, Nairo Quintana moves Movistar and Imanol Leviti still on the front, right into the middle of the road, and they have control of the front of the race. Rojas, it is, in fact, working for the red jersey of Nairo Quintana.
What a fantastic job he's done the whole race. We see Rojas at the front, one of the last Movistar Domestiques left in mountains, and now he's here leading out into a flat. So he's turned into an incredible Domestika rider that was primarily in his early career a bunch sprinter.
Alejandro Valverde in the green jersey on the right-hand side of the road, and let's not forget about Trek Segafredo's Fabio Fellini as well. 2 third places and 1 second place for him so far, as a rider from AG2R Le Mondial goes on a long one. So the first rider to attack with 3.7 kilometres to go. Giant Alpecin will try and peg this back. They've got 3 or 4 riders towards the front, and Nicky Assange, you can see with the closed aero helmet, in about 5th position in their train. I don't think this particular attack is going anywhere. It's not Bakelants, is it?
I actually don't know, but it's...
I think it might be. Yeah, it was a powerful attack.
It was, and it was probably one of the few opportunities for him to go, because it was a motorway bridge coming over, so it gave us a slight incline. And often in that situation, it might not have been planned. You happen to be at the front, you feel good, you go. So, and it's an opportunistic move, and you hope that it's just maybe it works. Now, coming to 3Ks to go there, the GC riders can relax a little bit, as Team Sky are still on the front. They're not taking any risks, because they perhaps know that there are a lot of desperados in there now who will pull off some moves that you don't want to be behind, so they'd rather be in front of everybody for as long as possible.
That is Jan Bakelants, I think, and he's got less than 3 kilometres to go. He glances under his left arm, and he sees that they are bearing down on him. Interesting how much work Sky are doing on the front, and greatly to the benefit of the big sprinters teams who are bearing down now on Jan Bakelants. This is typical of Bakelants, this kind of move. He wouldn't be a contender in a bunch sprint, so he plays that card instead. Don't think it's going to stick, though, and bit by bit they're going to bring him back. 2.4k remaining.
I wonder if Bennati's going to have a go at the sprint, so you can see him at the front on his own. The first Tinkoff jersey you see, that's Bennati. And the fact he could pull that move off 2 days ago indicates that he is on fantastic form. So as he throws his bottle and almost crashes.
Tyler Farah, yeah, sorry, in the white helmet and white kit, looking round to see where Christian Sperali is, and kind of sits up, actually. Looks a bit frustrated there, Farah, as if he'd lost his man, but there is Sperali. You can see him in about 10th position, just buried behind Bennati, the Tinkoff rider.
So Bennati's in a perfect position at the moment, maybe a little bit close to the front, but at the same time, should be okay. They're going to have their first left-hander in a few hundred metres, and then it's going to be, it'll start to string out a little bit more after after that. We can see you've got Giant doing a great lead out. Ethics Quick Step only have one rider left really in that lead out. So there's Meersman to be in 4th place. Benati's on his wheel. So Benati will choose his wheel. His wheel, it seems, is Meersman, which is probably the right wheel to have. It was Meersman ruined his sprint 2 days ago trying to hunt down Benati.
I'll tell you what, Chris Froome is very attentive. They're way through 3 kilometres to go, and he's still got Christian Knees powering him towards that finish line and keeping him right up at the front. You can see the white jersey just going past in about 20th position at the moment. 1.5k to go.
So you can see that was a bit of a pinch point, and if you were a bit too far back, it's going to be difficult to move up now. As you see, it thins out. Alejandro Valverde once again up there near the front in the green jersey. There goes, it looks like Kukeler, I think, on the right for Orica Bike Exchange, moving up. Oh, getting close signs.
Monza is moving into position as well from FDJ. He's the rider with the white kit and the blue helmet in about 4th position there on the left-hand side of the road. He tries to latch onto the wheel of Nikias Arndt, and he's battling with Jens Kukeler to get on that wheel.
Benati doing a very clever race. Ethics Quick Step have 2 riders. They've got 3 riders there perfectly placed. So it's a question to see whether they're going to try and hijack the Giant train, in which case Benati, if he's feeling good, is in a great position because he can then ride off them.
Huge crowds here to watch this bunch sprint unfold. Nikias Arndt finds himself with just 1 rider now, and he's got, I'm not sure it is Kukeler, I think it's Magnus Cort Nielsen actually from Orica Bike Exchange on his wheel. Meersman has identified, he's still got, he's on Benati's wheel, and he's still got 1 teammate to use. He's alongside Monza. There's Christian Sperali as well, and Michael Schwarzmann from Bora Argon 18. Jean-Pierre Drucker, though, opens up his powerful sprint on the right-hand side of the road, doing battle with Orica Bike Exchange and Magnus Cort Nielsen. Drucker has gone a long way out, I think, on this occasion, though. It is going to go to Magnus Cort Nielsen. Or is it? That was very, very close with Nikias Arndt there on the line. I think we're going to have to wait for a photo finish there. That was tight. And, well, Drucker went a long way out, didn't he? And it was a muscular sprint, but they just pulled up short.
Well, he had the confidence from a couple of days ago, and he really did go for it. And you know, it was Orica for sure. See Magnus Cort Nielsen, see the power, you can see the way he's moving his bike. I mean, that's just incredible. Benati can't do anything. You have, as you said, Jean-Pierre Drucker, he's there. But honestly, Magnus Cort Nielsen, there was nobody getting it. You could just see how much stronger he was than everybody else.
Looked about quarter of a bike length in the end, and he did know in the fact that he got the win just punching the air. Maybe it's a whole wheel length there. Esteban Chavez, the first on the scene to congratulate him, just as he was when Jens Kukeler took that victory a few days ago. They're having a great Vuelta, this team. 2 riders still high up in the general classification, and with Nielsen and Kukeler, as well as Simon Yates, they have stage winners in abundance as well.
Yes, they seem to be making the transition to a GC team without really having to curb their opportunist instincts. By contrast with their 3 stage wins, Giant Alpecin, who worked with them to pull back the break today, have none. Nikias Arndt a frustrated 2nd ahead of Jean-Pierre Drucker and Daniele Benati. There was a group of 62 riders who all got the same time as Magnus Cort Nielsen, and it included the top 10 overall. After directing Orica at the Tour de France, Matt White's not on this race officially, but he lives not far away and had a walk-on part at the end as enthusiastic Aussie spectator with child on shoulders.
See you tonight at the hotel. Yeah.
And Orica have got plenty to be enthusiastic about. Only Ethics Quick Step have more stage wins than they do on this Vuelta, and Ethics aren't contesting the race overall.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's a really big dream come true. Yeah, it's really fantastic.
Explain me, who's the sprinter in this Orica?
I think I am, but yeah, Jens is fast as well and climbing better than me.
Who has taken the decision? You, Jens, the director?
Yeah, our main goal is to have an eye on our GC guys, and every now and then we try, and yeah, it was fantastic for me. I gave it a go today, and yeah, it was amazing.
Fantastic for you and for the team. The 3rd victory in this Vuelta, incredible.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's my first Grand Tour ever, and yeah, 3 wins and 2 guys high up in the GC. It's a nice team to be on at the moment.
One name put we for the sprint in Madrid. Your name, Kukeler?
It's the one. I'm sure I will give it a go again.
Another day of no change in the points competition, so Movistar are still in possession of 3 jerseys, green for Alejandro Valverde, red plus the white combined jersey for Nairo Quintana, the second of which defaults to Chris Froome on a daily basis out on the road. No change either in the top 10 overall, so these are the time gaps everyone will carry into the time trial tomorrow. And the key one is the big one, 3 minutes 37 seconds from Nairo Quintana to Chris Froome. Froome has a 20-second head start on Esteban Chaves and should add to it. Chaves, though, has just 5 seconds over Alberto Contador.
Nairo, ¿cuál sería un buen resultado en esta crono? ¿Cuántos minutos de Froome?
Espero no equivocarme, pero no pienso perder minutos con Froome.
¿Ningún minuto?
Ningún minuto. Segundo, seguramente algunos, sí, pero espero no perder minutos.